Now, joining us to discuss more of this is Dr. Rotem Sivan. She is the co-founder of MomsUP 23, a group of more than 10,000 parents of IDF soldiers who want this war to end. And firstly, Doctor, I really appreciate you joining us. And firstly, I want your reaction to what is going on in Gaza now, because we had just heard from our correspondent, Nick, and he made the point saying, look, this really does seem a betrayal to the lives of the hostages still in Gaza at this hour.
This is very, very exact. This is how we feel. We feel terrified by the thought that we're going back into fighting, knowing that it will endanger the lives of the hostages and will not save them. You know, our kids, the soldiers, are fighting in order to bring them back. This is what they're all dreaming of for a year, more than almost 2 years now, and knowing it might endanger them and will not end the war and will not bring quiet and peace to the region is terrifying. As citizens and as mothers.
As citizens and as mothers, and yet you're hearing from your children as well. I was so struck, you know, that they say they went in thinking they would save hostages, that they would bring them out alive. And now you say they understand that they, with this operation, are killing them instead.
Yeah, they might endanger them. We're not sure it will happen, but we know that it's not bringing them back. This is, we know for sure from the last operation that none of them came back and soldiers were killed during this operation before. I don't understand how they think something will change now. Even Zamir, the commander-in-chief of the IDF, said he doesn't think it will bring the goals of the government, and yet he's going in, he's fulfilling the government orders and going into war again, although he himself think it might not bring all of the hostages back. So we try to stand up and ask the government not to go back into war, and to think again about agreements. Without agreements and without striving to get agreements, we don't think this will end.
You know, can you give us some insight just into the kitchen table conversations within your families? And I know some of you are not together, so that would mean the chat group, the FaceTime calls. You know, the Israeli government has always had this sacred responsibility to Israeli families. Mothers like you, fathers, give their children to the Israeli government, to the military, in the prime of their lives. Do you feel like the movements in the last few months have been a betrayal of that trust?
Exactly. We feel this contract between the mothers and the country was betrayed a long time ago, I have to say. Ever since Netanyahu refused to sign agreements, refused to stop the war and bring back the hostages, sending them again and again in. And as time goes on, we feel he's doing it only for his own safety, to keep his position in power. And so, yeah, we feel betrayed, and it's a very difficult conversation, since we taught our kids to go to army. We send them to the army to protect Israel. This is how I was raised. This is how I raised my kids. Israel must protect herself. Israel must have a strong army in order to protect herself, and it's not something that is questionable. And now, after they went in and gave their lives and lost friends and keep on fighting for so long, it's very difficult conversations with them. We understand we need a strong army. It's not a question. But we ask the government again and again, and we will keep on doing it and going and protest and do whatever we can in our power to stop the war that we feel does not bring the goals that it was meant to bring. And we'll do everything within our power.
You know, I want to ask you, there has been more discourse and debate in Israel about the humanitarian disaster in Gaza itself. Do you feel that there is space, that there is room in all of Israel's pain since the terror attack? Do you think that there is room in your families, in your larger discourse, to have that debate and to have that discussion?
Well, first of all, there's always room for the pain of both sides. But again, what we went through on October 7th, and since what we heard from the hostages when they came back, is very difficult to understand the other side when such a horrible things are happening when citizens were slaughtered, kids and women. And so, again, as you say, it's a huge conflict. On the other hand, the ongoing war is never good for anyone on either sides. And again, this is what happened when you don't try to achieve agreements and to finish it in the way wars always ends in achievements, always. So continuing the war, I don't think will bring it. We know it from the history from all over the world. And so it will bring peace and quiet to both sides. I think it will bring security if we achieve agreements, wide agreements with the allies around us, with the Islamic countries around us, which some of them are less extremist, and they want the same agreements as we do. The people of Israel want to end the war. This is what's really important to say. The people of Israel, not only the mothers, the people of Israel wants to end the war, wants to achieve peace. We all understand the only way to do it is to finish the war and get agreements. And the government and Netanyahu right now is not acting for the people and by the people and by the name of the people. And this is something that really must be heard. And this is why we all go out, and the protests in the last week were huge, the largest we saw in Israel in the last year and a half. The people
Doctor, we will
try to say.
Go ahead.
Again, we stand and say, and it's huge call from everyone to do everything within the power of the citizens and the government and the army to end the war in the right way. And I think it will be good for the whole region, not only for the Israelis, of course.
Understood. Dr. Sivan, thank you so much for your insights of what is an incredibly fragile time to come in the region. Appreciate it.